You see this haircut I have? It's just because I've been working, so it's going to be mad scientist Coop in the booth today. I wanted to talk about Ryan Garcia's innocence today. So he was cleared for his sample test of norangestrone, which is the second steroid that the people over at VADA tested him for after he popped for Ostarine in 2 separate tests. And Ryan has now requested that a B sample test takes place the 22nd of May. The purpose of this test would be to either confirm or deny VADA's suspicions that there was a sufficient enough amount in Ryan's system of the Ostarine to have a performance-enhancing effect, or even if there was any at all. And I don't want to say it's a formality, but right now, Ryan Garcia is looking better and better by the day. His innocence hangs less and less in the balance, but I think a lot of people are going to be really interested, especially the Haney's, about whether or not he passes or at least meets the requirements for a low enough threshold of this B test to have the fight be legitimized. I don't want to talk about that because that's quite a ways away in the future. That's about 2 weeks down the line now. But I want to talk about the ruckus that Ryan Garcia has been drumming up recently with this failed test, with making a rap diss track and having it come out after the fight when purportedly he made it beforehand.
Oh my God, why he laying on the canvas?
Oh my God.
Somebody get that boy some milk and a sandwich.
Listen to it. It's kind of catchy. I'm not going to lie. It's only 1:30. And of course, missing weight, drinking what everyone believed to be beer on the scale, when in reality it was just, I think it was like sparkling wine or something, or sparkling juice. And overall, just kind of, well, there's no other way to say this, acting like he was insane. And I wanted to talk about the politics that come with something like this, the integrity of boxing. Now, a lot of the older boxing heads that I've talked to, because I try to keep a nice little spread down the middle. I like to talk to my younger boxing fans who can appreciate a Jake Paul, who can appreciate, let's just say, a Ryan Garcia, a Devin Haney, right? The young blood in the sport. And I already know I'm going to get fucking hate for saying Jake Paul in the comments. Shut the fuck up about Jake Paul. I mean, I just kind of brought him up, so, but whatever. And then you have the old heads that really don't like this new blood within the sport, think that they're flying in the face of everything that makes the sport great. Of course, Ryan Garcia missing weight by 3 pounds, not the best thing in the world. The social media circus that he's been causing, even after the fight, I think just leaves a bad taste in a lot of those people's mouths. And man, I mean, I don't know quite where I fall on this, because I like Ryan Garcia as a fighter, as a personality. He's funny. He really seemingly doesn't care about what he says. He kind of just goes out and says it, which is something that a lot of people tend to gravitate to. But another part of me kind of thinks he's a little bit of an asshole. I'm not going to claim to know all the facts, but I want to know why he missed 3 pounds. Now, he says that that was all according to the plan and that he bet money on himself and cashed out big. And I know a lot of people right now are saying, oh, that's like the best thing that you could possibly ever do, and Ryan Garcia is such a genius. I think that's kind of corny, and I think that flies in the face of everything that a fighter should stand for. But if you're a guy in Ryan Garcia that came up short against Gervonta Davis, maybe due to that rehydration clause, or maybe due to the fact that he was just the better boxer, and you want to go after the money now rather than championships, I mean, man, this is an ingenious plan. I bet the pay-per-view, I was saying this on the other video, that was the first pay-per-view that I ever ordered as a boxing fan. So everyone was excited. I was excited. People that weren't necessarily even into boxing got into boxing for that fight. So I can always appreciate that as a fan. It's the young new generation, the Gervonta Davises, the Tank Davises, right? The Ryan Garcias, the Devin Haneys, for say what you want about him, for a performance that wasn't that bad, still managed to bring in a bunch of people, played a great foil to Ryan Garcia's kind of crazy antics in the lead up to this fight. It's these young guys that are bringing the new kind of blood and energy into the sport. And I think you have to appreciate that as a fan. You might not like what it looks like. Like, I don't really care for Ryan Garcia's actions. I think they're a little bit brazen. I think, yeah, sure, he's funny, but at the same time, if everyone just started missing weight and giving themselves an advantage of even 3 pounds and skewing the media to make them believe that they were cooked, that could open boxing up to some interesting conflicts of interest. I think it's something that hopefully will be a contained thing. I think a lot of guys want the ability to kind of go after championships and be able to fight for the belts, right? A lot of guys are much more legacy minded. And Ryan Garcia, I mean, we don't know what's going on in his personal life. There's been rumors floating around that he's badly in debt from a lot of these casinos and that he has divorcement settlements and child support payments that he's paying. I'm not here to legitimize those claims, but what I am saying is I could see a world in which Ryan Garcia says, hey, I need to create the biggest media circus that I possibly can. He's friends with Jake Paul. Jake Paul's another guy that's really good at that. Again, I'm not saying that I agree with it. but I think I can understand where I thought he might have been going at least. Now with this failed test, though, we gotta see, because things kind of get put on hold. The Haneys have said that they do not want a rematch, and yes, I put them together because his dad's basically his spokesperson at this point. But I think for Ryan's career, I mean, if they find a amount that is going to be higher than the threshold that they would need to have a performance-enhancing benefit for his fight, things might get ugly. Does it make sense to me that Ryan Garcia would go through the trouble of going through all those antics, like missing weight, drinking on the scale, all that stuff, just to pop for PEDs? No. And everything I've seen since Ryan Garcia, I'm just going to say it, adopted this character, would lead me to believe that he wouldn't be the type of guy to try and do that. Especially not when he's making the biggest fights in the sport. He's not a guy that you think would be afraid of a challenge. And so I will defend Ryan Garcia on that front. I think he is the biggest name in boxing at current. I just don't see why he would unnecessarily put himself in harm's way to do that. I think this just comes down to Ryan Garcia being a little bit reckless, like not checking the supplements that he's taking in. That could explain the weight miss. Again, he says that it was all part of the plan, and I know earlier in this video I kind of ran with that logic and that line of thinking as if I believed it, but I could also see something where he just got careless. He said he was drinking a little bit and smoking a little bit in the lead up to this fight. I'm not going to claim to, again, have been in on this fight camp. Ryan Garcia seems like a guy that works hard, but we'll have to see. Point is we don't know. I just wanted to give my whole thought on the situation. Thank you guys so much for watching. It has been your boy, the combat consultant, the soundboard god, Jacob Kuberman. See you guys in the next one. Deuces.